All right, we can get started. Hello, everybody. Thanks for taking your time to join us today. Today is our week 3 session. So it's the same group of people here. We have all the AI expert available for you. If you need to reach out to anybody, please feel free to do so. All right, in Grid Info System, we provide 3 mainstream of businesses. We are currently building AI platform, which is called Grid Info Systems Marketplace. We also provide AI automation services, help businesses with different type of AI agents, chatbot, workflow automation, digitalization. If any business requires, please feel free to reach out to us. We also provide AI training. So today is our week 3 session. Previously, we have covered AI fundamental and prompt engineering, vibe coding, web development, and today we'll be learning AI agent and automation, and we'll be connecting that back with the web development activities that we had done in our previous session. We have sent out a survey link. We would really appreciate if you can fill it out. It will not take more than a minute for you guys, but that would be valuable to us. And also we have sent out what are the prerequisites for getting the certification. So basically, if you're joining all those 4 sessions that we're hosting, you will be getting the certificate. Or if you're participating in 2 to 3 sessions, then also you can get eligible if you are doing one of the lab and presenting it, or you're sending us the recorded version of your demo. Next week, it would be our final week where you get to show off your work and we can have career discussions, and also we'll be giving you the certification. In a month, we'll be hosting a demo session based on AI platform that we are building. I think if you guys join, we'll be definitely sending you the invitation. If you guys join, then I think that will give you the opportunity to see how everything that you have learned during different session, those gets integrated in a real business. Today, similar to other session, we'll initially cover some of the concepts about basics, AI automation basics, learn about some tools and dive into an agent tool. And then we'll have some demonstration. And finally, we'll be having an in-class lab where we'll be building a chatbot. So AI automation is happening right now all over industries. 73% of all businesses are planning to adopt AI automation as per McKinsey Global Institute, which will be impacting 15 trillion economy by 2030, and it will be reducing 3.5 hours almost for each person per day. A lot of people get confused between traditional AI automation versus the AI automation. So think in that way. Traditional automation is more like a strict rule follower, and AI automation is more like a smart personal agent or helper. So for example, if you're going to a website and you are specifically telling the word, hey, I want a refund, then traditional automation will see that in your text there is a word called refund. And if the logic is set up in that way, if word refund is there, then escalate that to that returning department. Then that will work. But if you just say, hey, I want to get my money back, I'm not liking this product anymore, then traditional automation will fail because the refund word is not there. And that's how it was set up. AI automation understand the context, understand the sentiment, analyze it, and it can take action. These are the main differences you can tell. So AI automation is leveraging in all many different industries, specifically customer support, marketing, reporting by the organizations, HR, sales, e-commerce. And we'll talk about some of the real world business use cases. So think about the customer support. Most of us will recently get a lot of call. It sounds like AI, but it feels almost like a human. And also video call, I mean, videos, not only about text, there's text, videos, and also voice. So the way those things work in the customer support is basically whenever you have a text or video that get converted, that get transcribed into text, and then AI does that sentiment analysis, understand the tone, urgency of your request, and based on that, it does the escalation. And at the same time, it also create that reply, and then that reply get converted from text to the speech again, and then you are hearing back a response, and it feels most like, okay, that person understand your emotion and then replying back. So that's how we feel more like it's a human like experience. Content creation is another area where AI automation is highly leveraged, and we had used ourselves in our week one session where we created comic design and a video game for that content from content creation standpoint. But most of the blogger now they just choose a topic and AI, they leverage AI to create their content and auto schedule it to be posted on their blogs. Organizations are heavily leveraging AI automation as well, because AI can pull data from many different sources and it can give you the executive summary. Before, it was more of a lot of visualization report that you need to understand and you need to extract out what is the insight it's trying to tell. Now it's more like you chat with it, it gives you the summary. There are back and forth communication with it. HR is also leveraging AI automation. They can screen hundreds of resume overnight and can find that top candidate. Sales, AI automation is helping them as well to outreach and in a sequence, understand the priorities, and also update their CRM from their call transcriptions. AI commerce also leverage that AI automation. It can understand users' query, understand the emotion of the customers, their need, and also it can help based on the data and also the interaction. They can understand when their inventory is low and they need to restock. And also it helps them to manage the reputation of the company as it's able to do sentiment analyze it itself. So we talked about the AI automation use cases, but let's talk about what are the tools that can make it happen. So there are different type of tools from easy to use to power users, and and there are different prices. There are different flexibilities. So these Zapier, Make, Power Automate, and A10 are the industry leader, and we'll talk about these tools and differences among them. So Zapier is easy to use. So it's a easy entry. It's basically designed for non-technical users. But as you start to use it more and you want to get some business value out of it, it starts getting expensive. Make is also a good one that is leveraged by marketing team. With that, you can create complex workflow for your businesses. The learning curve is comparatively steeper if I compare with the Zapier. And then there is Power Automate. A lot of organizations are tied up with Microsoft 365. So Power Automate just come with it and then they leverage it. The weakness standpoint of it, I would say if you're trying to use outside of Microsoft a tech stack, then it becomes difficult to handle. And then there is N8N. N8N is meant for developers and power users. So there is a community version which is free. You can install locally to your computer or you can self-host in your server. Otherwise, there is a cloud version as well, which has 14 days free trial. And I think that's a good time to learn the tool. And if you feel committed, then you can have self-hosted version if you're doing it's for business, or use it community version just for your learning purpose in your local environment. So we, as we said in earlier the meeting, that we'll be using N8N today for our lab. So if you have not installed it, I would say go to that n8n.io and get the free version so that we can continue our lab today. All right, if you already have installed or signed up for n8n.io, I'll give you a quick tour. And I would suggest that as I take a tour, you guys also open your n8n environment and click through different things so that you feel comfortable. So by the time we reach to that lab, then you are familiar with the environment and there is not that initial hiccup there anymore. Or if you haven't created it, you can get started there or get started for free, and it will take you to the next page for the registration. You provide your email account, and then it basically send you a confirmation number in your email. You provide it back, and that's how we get signed up. It asks you to fill out few survey questions. Just use your best guess to move forward. All right, if you are already in N8N environment, if you click the overview, it looks pretty much similar to this, where you have workflows, credential, execution, variable, data table, and then on the top, you will see create workflow. So if you have once you start creating a lot of workflows, that will start showing up here. And workflows are more of like connecting things. So connecting things with AI. So for example, if I want to connect my Gmail account or Google Sheet or PayPal or any of those, then I need to connect with those, right? So that involves the credential. You can save all your credential and leverage as many whenever you are creating workflow, you can just leverage them from there. And workflow, once you build it, you can run it. Once you run it, how many times you run it, all this execution history would be stored under that executions. And once you create your workflow, you might define many different variables or data tables. Those would be under this. So now let's click create workflow. Once you click workflow, your interface will look like this. So on the top, you will see editor, execution, evaluation. Editor is where you drag and drop your nodes and you create your workflow. And once you run it, that gets shown up under executions. And evaluation is more for testing purpose. You can rename your file here, and you can also put a tag. For example, we have created.
Someone saying to slow down a little bit in the chat.
Sure.
And then he's trying to sign up for the N8N.
We will have that recording version of it because I assume there might be a mixed crowd who already has it installed versus who is trying to sign up. You can still sign it up. We'll come back to this again. We'll do that lab again. So just trying to make a balance between who already signed up versus who is trying to sign up. Sorry. So trying to sign up. Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I didn't get the original emails this week. I don't know why, but I logged in, I just logged in. So can you tell me where I got to go just so I can keep up with you from now on? Right now I have a terminal in front of me. It says AI assistant to the left, overview personal. Do I click on personal? Where do I click?
You can click personal, yes.
Okay, I'm there. Where do I click after that? Workflows, credentials, start from scratch if I do workflows.
So you click create workflow.
Okay, and then start from scratch.
Once you click create workflow, it will give you a blank space.
Create workflow. Okay, I created it.
Okay.
Okay.
Right. And this is not the lab. I'm just still going through the concept, but I want to make it interactive so that you can connect to it. All right.
I'm sorry to hold everything up. I didn't get the emails this week, so I apologize. I don't know why I didn't get the emails.
I sent everybody. I'm not sure.
Is it
Why
under
does it
grid
happen?
info or
Grid info, yes.
What?
Grid
Yeah,
info
the last email
system.
I got was from the last email I got was from the second. So if you sent any other emails from after the second, I didn't get a single one.
I sent it on Thursday, late night.
Thursday
Anyway,
was
you
ninth.
signed up, so that's good. All
apologize.
right. So let's move on, no worries.
Yeah.
All
No
right.
problem.
So no problem. All right. Thank you.
Sorry.
So as I was saying, in your interface, you'll be seeing, like, as I said, editor, execution, evaluation. And on the right-hand side, you'll see a plus sign. Plus sign is where you have all your different nodes that you can drag and drop to these editors and create your workflows. And on the top, once you create your workflow, there is that publish button. That's what you click in order to publish it. And that's how everybody else can make use of that workflow. That basically goes into execution mode at that point.
I see why I didn't get it. It went to my junk. Sorry about that.
I'm sorry?
I see why I didn't get it. It went into my junk, so I apologize for that.
Oh, no worries. No worries. All right. So next, let's do one thing. So you search in where we just click that plus sign where all those nodes are there. Look for AI agent. It should pop up there and select it. And once you select that, it will bring this type of interface for the AI agent. It basically asking you, hey, let's set it up. And then for now, we'll just close it. On the right-hand corner, you will see that cross. Just close that. Once you close it, it will show like this, which will bring interface that looks like this. So now these are called nodes. So this is node 1 and this is node 2, and then there is a connection between them. So the first node is you see that right sign next to it, that's a triggerer. So whenever there is any chat coming in, that's when it flows that chat information to this AI agent. And during our lab today, we'll be configuring it to make it a chatbot. Up to this point, I just wanted to give you a quick tour to that innate environment and get a feel of it. All right. So now you kind of saw that there was a node, and I talked about, like, if you put a chat, then it pass it to the agent to do further processing, right? So the first one I was referring to, that is a triggerer. And then there are many type of triggerer. There is a webhook. For example, you have a web application, and from that web application, you want to connect that web application to the AI automation workflow. Then webhook is leveraged for that. You can have a scheduler for your workflow that, for example, you can have something related to data analysis, and you want that to happen every morning at 9 a.m. So you can have a scheduler for that. And you can have your workflow respond to different app as well. For example, maybe you receive a Gmail in an email through your Gmail account or something similar to that. In that scenario, when the email received, maybe you want something to happen. So then that is used as a trigger, and whatever workflow or the process you define, that's what happens once that gets triggered. Or maybe you have an intake form. Once you just submit that intake form, and then your workflow gets triggered and it does certain things, whatever you plan for in your automation. All right, so we talked about the trigger. So once the trigger is pulled, then it does something. So there are some action nodes available in an A10 environment. And you also have AI or LLM in there. There are different LLM platform, OpenAI is there, Chatbot, sorry, not Chatbot, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. You can choose whatever you are subscribed to or prefer to. And in order for our workflow to work, we might be setting up some logic. So there are some logics node available as well. There is if condition, switch, merge, code node, and then filter. So code node is where you need to do any low code, then you can leverage that. But at nutshell, what happened in this in-A10 environment? So that we talked about different type of work nodes that are available. At nutshell, think of all those nodes as a black box, right? And you are connecting all those different black box that takes input, does something, and then gives an output, and then that passes to the next, to the next. So it involves input, output, and connection between them. And when you're talking about we're passing information from one node to another one, we use expression to do it. For example, here JSON.field name. So it could be Sarah, John, Mithila, XYZ, right? So once we refer to this, it is able to take everything, all those values to it. All right, at nutshell, this is any kind of workflow works, not just any 10, any type of workflow. You have a trigger, you fetch some data, and then LLM does processing based on the input that user is providing, the data it has available, and then it takes some action. And if you need, you can put human in loop or store the result. So for example, customer sends an email and AI reads it, classifies it, understand it, if it is an urgent, and then it route to the support group, send an automatic reply, and then store that to the CRM. Now it's time for demo. We'll be leveraging AI homework helper that we had used in our previous week 2 session. So if you remember in our previous session, we had Ask AI button, right? So you enter some question and you have Ask AI. And that button wasn't working. I mean, if you have there was simulation, but if you remove the simulation and if you switch it to an A10, then that button wasn't working. So our goal with this demo to show you how to make it work. So you're supposed to put a question here, ask AI, and then that will be passing it to the webhook. Webhook, as I said previously, it's a type of node that use as a trigger. Any question comes in, then it passes to the LLM. Here we are using Gemini message model, and it gets the answer, and then again it passes it back to another webhook. It's called respond to webhook, and that's how it goes back to your website, and whatever the question is, its answer displays in your website. So everything else just happen in the background for whoever are using that website. So now Kusma would be taking over. She'll be demonstrating this from starting to the end.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Let me share my screen. Is my screen visible? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. If you can just speak a little louder, I think that will
Yeah.
help.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. In our previous session, we have successfully generated our user interface for our web application. Let me open our user interface. For that, we have to go to GitHub code space first, and then we have to navigate to our project. In terminal, we have to give a command like npm run dev to open our website. Here, our website is opened.
Hold on.
Then
I
we have to,
apologize. Can you hear me?
okay.
I can't.
Yeah.
I clicked open code space blank, but I don't know what happened to the work I worked on previously. How do I access that?
Hi,
Yeah,
Ron.
it is.
Hey, Ron. Sorry to interrupt. This session that
Oh, wait.
Kusma is saying, we don't expect you to follow all the steps. It's more
Oh,
for
okay.
demonstration, how it works, so that you can see the whole thing. And we'll be
All
sending
right.
you
I
a
found it anyway.
we'll
I
be
found it
give you.
anyway.
I'm sorry.
No, I found it anyway. I don't know how I wasn't able to get to where you were, but I wanted to follow along so I can, do the right thing.
Correct. You'll be provided A to Z instruction on that, and we'll also help if needed. But let's just get through the demo. We have a couple of demo to show, and we have lab. If it is okay with you, just give us some
That's
time.
fine. Sorry.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let us open our website. And then we set it as a live init and node. And when we ask a question for our web application, it will pop up a network error. This is because of we are not connecting any backend to our web application. So let us fix that by creating a backend. For that, we have to navigate to a init and interface, and then we have to open a new workflow, and we can rename it as whatever we wish. Like I will give it a name as homework chat engine. Now, first we have to add an webhook node. This webhook node will receive our question from our website. We have
Hey,
to set it
Kusma,
as,
sorry to
yeah,
interrupt. I think there is a request from the audience that you speak slowly so that they can get you.
okay,
Thank you.
okay, thank you. Here we have to set HTTP method as a post, and also we have to set a path for our webhook. That is, I'm giving it as Ask AI. And then we will set a response webhook node. Like we have to use respond to webhook node. And then we will append our Google Gemini model, which is acting as a brain for our workflow. Like it will process the question and it will be answering for our node, for our questions. And here we have to select a model of our Google Gemini, and then we will giving a prompt. This prompt will be using for accessing the question from previous node, that is webhook node. It will take a question from webhook body, and then we have to add a system message. This system message is used for giving an instruction for our LLM model, like how should it answer, like it should be acting as an um, it should be acting as a helpful tutor for high school students. And then we have to set credentials for this init and node. For that, we will be clicking this plus icon. like here we have plus icon. If we click here and it will be pop up the um, mm, page, and we have to move to Google API Studio page. It will be here we can generate a API key, and we have to copy this, and then this is our API credential setting page. Here we have to paste our API key which we have copied from Google API Studio. It is used to connect our Google Gemini model to our website. After pasting our API key, we have to save that, and you can see here the connection tested successfully. That means we have connected successfully. And then finally we have to add respond to webhook node. This node will take an answer from Google Gemini model, and it will be sending back answer to our website. This expression we will use to take answer from Google Gemini model. It will receive answer from Google Gemini model, and it will send back to our website. And then we have to publish our workflow so that it will become live. Now we are ready with our workflow. We have to integrate our workflow with our website so that it will answering us. For that, we have to go to GitHub code space, and we have to navigate to app.js file. This is our app.js file. Here you can see the search button. Then here we can search for our URL. We have to change this N8N instance URL to our actual N8N instance URL. We have to replace this URL. In our case, our URL is dev.n8n.com. We will get this link from N8N interface itself. After updating the link, we have to go to files, and we have to save the updated file, and then we have to run our project, and then open it in a browser and set it to live N8N mode. Now we will ask a question like, what is agentic AI? And click Ask AI button. Whenever we click Ask AI button, it will trigger the webhook node, which we have created in our N8N. Whenever we ask a question and click a button, it will trigger this N8N node, and it will receive the question. You can see that here we have a question that we have given in our website. That is what is agentic AI, and it is passes to Google Gemini model, and it will process the question and give the answer. You can see that it is give the content here. And then answer will be passed to respond to webhook node. And then this will send the answer back to our website. And here you can see that we got an answer. This is how web N8N creation from scratch and how it is working. Yeah, thank you. I hope you have understand the demo.
So Kusma just showed how Ask AI button work. Now there were two other buttons. Generate quiz is the second, and then there is send report. So quiz AI, generate quiz is very similar to what Kusma just showed. It also has 3 nodes: webhook, then Gemini message model, and then respond to webhook. What is the difference between this button and this Ask AI and Generate Quiz button? So in the message model node, you can configure your system message. In the system message is similar to any other prompt engineering, where you define what is the role that you want your AI model to play, and you define what action it shall take and any constraint that you want to put it in there as well. So in this one, we are asking message model to act like a tutor, but this time based on the topic anybody provide, help them by generating just a quiz. Other than that, everything remains the same. So the next one is sending report. Sending report works pretty similar in terms of the interaction between the button and the webhook. You enter your email address and then you hit send report. Then it gets that email and pass it over to the webhook workflow, and then it pass it over to other nodes. So basically we want to pass it to the Gmail node. Now for this one, you will need to have API, besides API key, you will also need to have client ID and client secret. And when you send out the materials, we also send out how to set it up. If you haven't received that email, let us know. We'll forward it to you, whoever is missing. Now, before we send out it, so it basically, as I said, it sends out that email address. And at the same time, anything in that form, we had quiz generated, and also we had that a question being answered. So we take all the information, whatever is in that form, and pass it over to the webhook with that email address. So now we can basically fine tune the text information that's coming in with that edit field. We can massage it a little bit, make it look better, and then we can pass it to the send message so that it looks better when it goes as an email. So previous one was interaction between web app and your workflow. Now you see that it also externally interact with different app. In this case, it's a Gmail account. And we combined these demo 1, 2, 3 into a training material, and we'll be sending out that YouTube link to everybody as well. And we are defining these as your homework assignment. While trying to do it, if you have any question, concern, email it to us. We'll try to respond back as early as we can. Now we can jump into our in-class lab. We'll be building a chatbot. So again, you need to have an E10 account. You need to have bare minimum API key in order to be able to do this lab. So we'll be building a chatbot. When we are just navigating through that N8 interface, we already had these 2 keys there. And we'll be adding Gemini chat model in there, and we'll also add memory so that it can understand the conversation back and forth happening between your chatbot and you. Whenever we have any AI assistant can do more than just a chatbot. It can also take action. You see that there is a tool there, right? You can add different tool in there. For example, you might have a frequently asked question. And if you store it somewhere, for example, in your Google Sheet, then you connect that to this. because when you connect that with the Gemini, Gemini will not know anything that's very particular to your system. In that scenarios, your database or your Google Sheet, anything that can help to make sure that it provides a accurate answer. Technical term, it's called RAG. But today we'll just do a chatbot. And once we create the chatbot using n8n, again, we'll come back to our website that we previously created. And over there, we'll make some configuration so that that chatbot shows up in our website. So that's the goal for today in our lab. And demo 1, 2, 3 that we had done, that would be part of your homework assignment, as I said earlier. All right, are you ready for our lab? Everybody has n8n? So I'm done with the presentation. I'll get into the environment itself now. Does anybody need few extra minutes? If anybody doesn't have the environment just to get it. Other than that, let's dive into the lab. All right, so before this session, we send out that link, resource link, right? You'll be receiving a link for week 3 resources. If you navigate to that, you'll be seeing there is a folder called workflows, and then there are 3 files. One of the file tells you how to create Google API key, client ID, client secret. And then another one talks about how can you get your free community edition and install it on your computer, or you can have an n8n cloud account. And we also have another PowerPoint in there. So the PowerPoint, if you can just open it, you can see the steps that I'm following, but other than that, if you feel like you're falling behind, then you can also use this instruction in class lab as well. It also has screenshot and all the steps that needs to be taken in order to complete this lab. So this is about today's lab, but inside that workflow folder, we also provided you guys all the JSON files of all the workflow that we're covering as part of demo 1, 2, 3. So all you have to do is you download those JSON files and you can go to your workflow, you click create workflow, and then you can basically import it. Once you import it, you don't have to start from the scratch. It would be displaying it here. Then it would be a matter of configuring it because it will require your credential. So you set up those credential in there. Any question? All right, if not, let's get started. So when I was navigating the n8n, we'll do that again here. Let's look for AI agent. I get this configuration 1. This one is showing it's blocking some of the space. So move it up. All right, so you can just configure it here itself, or if I cross out, I can do that too. There is a chat model that you can connect to by clicking here, and you can connect your memory and connect any tools that you'd like to use as maybe if you're referring to your database, maybe your Google Drive, not Google Drive, I mean to say Google Sheet can connect it. So I'll just close it out so that I get more space. So here, now I have these 2 nodes, trigger nodes, and this. So by default, it's not meant for the web. If I want to have it for web, I need to do a little configuration there. I make chat publicly available, and then it creates that URL that I can place it in my website. And then from the mode, I have to change it to embedded chat so that it can be embedded in my website. And then once I select that, then I get to see this. And you see that follow the instruction here. You can click that link and open it in different tab. And once you do that, you can just go there. And it has instruction on how can I embed that to my website. All right, and we'll follow those steps as well. So now let's close it. Now we have to configure this one. So let's add a chat model. Sorry, I meant to say, yeah, chat model. Do Gemini, I'm gonna use this. All right, so now you have to add your credential in there. If you already have saved your credential, you can point to that, or you can click that pencil icon and then paste your API key in there. And you'll see green to make sure it will tell you that, okay, it's ready. Sometimes if it is there for a long time, it asks you to refresh your key. In that scenario, you just have to log in back to your Google account, and that's how it refreshes. And then I will add memory to this. You can do simple memory, and how many contexts you want to remember, you can increase or decrease the number based on that. You can test your trigger. All right, so it passes that information in here. So you can see that what is triggered to come in here, and I can execute this step. And it generates that answer. Now I want to display that answer to my website, right? So I need to, as you're seeing over here, like you click that instruction and then we just need to follow that, right? And we can scroll down to the installation and you find this guy, this piece of code. Now go back to your web application that you created earlier, GitHub Codespace. So once you go to GitHub Codespace, anything that you have created earlier, that will show under that by repository. So I'll click this and then click the bottom link. And then it will load all the source coded into GitHub environment. All right, if you expand it, you will see all your source code available there. We'll go just to that index.html. So I had done that lab before, so it's available there, but assume that it's not there. So you see that header tag, right? You'll be coming back to there. So you copy that entire script, including this link, and you come back to your GitHub and you paste it here, anywhere inside that head. Now you can see that there's a placeholder for your production webhook URL. So we need to get that webhook URL. So we go back to our workflow, which was this. We just created it. In order for it to be available, we have to publish it. So let's publish that. And you can put any number you want. So it's a version 1. So let's get that link. So the link is this one. So let's just replace that text with this link. And save it. It automatically saves most of the time, just to be safe side. Now I need to change the directory to my app with AI homework helper. And then I run the same command that we did in past, which is npm run dev. Sorry. All right, so when it runs, it has that local host, but in order for this environment to work, it actually forwarded to this. Again, if in case you cannot access it, like you can do that too from here. All right, so you see that chatbot, this is now available here. All right. So I asked what is in Now let's ask something. I don't want to say the word in but I want to point to it to make sure that it understands that context. I said, how is it? It needs to know what is it and what I'm talking about. All right, so it gives that comparison, as you can see. So yeah, this is the simple app that we developed. You can make it more complex and you can add a lot more to this workflow. This is a agent. You can create your own agent for your own purpose, for your business, for your study, for your personal life, anything you want. And with that, we finish our lab today. And I can rename it. Anything that's meaningful to me. So that it's meaningful in you. With that, I'm ending. Does anybody have any question? I know that we took whole 1 hour, but we can be here a few minutes. I'm sorry, what is Chinese model? I'm sorry, are you referring to something specific? If anybody had a question, please, you can turn on your microphone and speak up. Hey, Nigar, do you wanna turn on your microphone and talk about this if you'd like to?
Yeah, sure. I think he's asking about the Chinese models to get the free API key. So that's what I'm writing in the chat, like the Chinese models, for example, DeepSeek and Qwen, they have their own API credits. So if they want to use that one, then they can sign up to free uses. Or if they need more, then they can get the paid one.
Hey, Mithila, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Hey, quickly, like I just want to, Ron had this question, but that also gives me like to ask on behalf of others, right? What's the next plan? So the in the sense of this workshop or training, Ron's one of the questions is, can someone let me know if they have time to tutor me? So if others are looking in the same manner, do we have a plan to share, or we probably reach out?
So I think it goes back to the main question. We are trying to help you through our session. So the next, we are pretty much completed all the sessions that we originally planned for, but how much you feel comfortable with your learning, if you need help in terms of AI journey or in terms of helping your business with AI automation, then you can definitely reach out to us with the same email address that we have been communicating, or Satya, he's the marketing guy, he can also point you to the right direction.
Yeah. So in a bit, Ron, I mean, there's a plan that I could, reach out to you and work with you one-on-one basis, right? I can um, try to set up some time so we can understand, discover your needs or your requirements or use case or training. So that way we can carve out a separate plan. And same applies to everyone. So I hope everyone got a minute before to fill the survey, and that will really help us, to understand where we did good, what we are going to do next. So I really appreciate if you fill that survey, and as well as we have a week 4, right, the following week, to complete this summer camp, the entire program. Okay. Before we let the audience wrap up, Mithila, Nigar, Faiz, any other points or comments you want to share?
One thing about the last session, as we said, if you can record either you can present in the next session or you can send us a recording version of your lab so that we know you're able to follow and we're able to utilize our training and also get certification. And whoever will be participating on for, they will get participation certificate as well. So I mean, so far it had been one way. I mean, we are trying to teach you, we're trying to make it more hands-on as possible, but we don't know how much we're able to receive. One way we get the feedback from you is by seeing that, okay, you have completed the lab or you're coming and showing your lab that you have completed, or forget about completing it. Maybe you started and you had a trouble, and we can have a conversation about that.
Yeah, I think one of the questions that I was going to attend, I was also going to ask Ron, like you just posted that. How do we get the certification? Right? I think that's where Mithila was explaining. So Mithila, do we want to actually just quickly share like the plan? Like I think there we have some criteria, right, to get everyone. Okay.
Right, that had been communicated through the email, but if we just summarize it,
Yeah.
either they have to join all those 4 sessions, and there are people who are not able to join a first session or second session due to their personal reason, but they still want to get the certificate. In that scenario, they have to finish at least 1 lab so that we know they got some value out of it. And also showcase their work in the final, like giving a presentation. So you want to get a sense of your accomplishment. Want to make sure that your time, our time was really utilized properly, and we want to acknowledge that through a certificate. That's where I'm getting at. All right. Thank you everybody. Appreciate your time and effort, and hoping to see everybody in the next class. And I hope we'll be able to, outside of that training materials, we'll get an opportunity to get to know each other a little more and have a conversation about what are the career aspect of AI automation and other track of AI, and what can we do. One more thing, I had mentioned that earlier, I will be having a demo day in a month, and where you can see whatever you have learned in our training session. You will see how those are leveraged in real life with business cases. So you'll be sending an invitation. I will be sending an invitation to you, and you are more than welcome to join. All right. Thank you, everybody. Does anybody has any other closing comment, or we are good for today?
Thank you, Mithila. Thank you so much for your explanation. Thank you.
All right. Take care, everybody. Bye. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you.